My name is Peter TuuMotz, and I was born in 1972 in Nuuk, up north Greenland. And I lived there the first 12 years of my life with my parents and three elder sisters. Me and my mom went fishing every day. We have this, in Danish they call them, directly translated, they're called long lines. I don't know what they call it in English. It's a long line with a lot of hooks on. And you put a weight on and this slider, a big metal thing with a rock on, and then you slide it under the ice like this, stretching out the hooks on the bottom, and at the last you drop a weight. And then you have all the hooks, 100 hooks or more, way down at the bottom, fishing halibut. And those fish went for the dogs and for ourselves. And so every day, me and my mom in wintertime, almost every day, me and my mom went out and got these long lines. And we arrived out at the site and chopping the hole up again, which has frozen over during the night or the 2 nights, depending on how many days we didn't go get it. And then we switched. I started off by walking, 100 meters, and then my mom took over, and you stretch out the long line, and the sun is shining and the dogs are waiting, and what more could you ask of?
And did your family have a dog team, or?
Yeah, we did have a dog team. The locals brought us a female dog, or what do you call it? And with the words that this is the one that's gonna make the pack for you when it's grown up and can give birth to cuddlings, or what you call it. And this dog came in a bag. This little female dog, newly born, 6-8 weeks old, and it was named Busiak, which is a bag. In '84 there was these Nuuk championships of electric boogie and breakdance, and we were arriving here in Nuuk in, I think it was August or something, June, July, August or something. And if I don't remember wrong, it was October or something that these championships were held. And after just staying here in Nuuk for a couple of months, I was actually in on the championships. So I met the hip hop culture right away and mingled with it and started dancing as the first part of it. And from there, I moved on to DJing and a little graffiti, mostly on paper. But I'm not the big painter, so that's not my strong side. I got a big mouth and a lot of words coming out of it, so I ended up writing lyrics after. I think it was the rhythms and the flow of the rap and stuff like that. And then the message came with Grandmaster Flash, and then it took a turn, and I noticed what could be done with music, and especially rap. That is, I think, is more like some of the most direct form of communicating through music, if you should pick a genre. So rap is directly to the listener. And a listener says, oh, that's rap music. You somehow know that this person is talking about personal experience, because that's what rappers usually do. Of course, you got the mainstream who wants to make money on club tracks and stuff like that, and it's, but it's a strong communication form, and I think that's what got to me and kept me at the rap scene, and kept the interest for hip hop. When we started off with Nuuk Posse, it was more like the interest of hip hop that kept us together. We like this hip hop. We came from different social backgrounds and from all social levels. And the thing that kept it together was the glue, was hip hop, because we were quite different, if I can say, but but we got along great, and we made these first Greenlandic rap tracks, and that was fun. Living hard as I did, with too much alcohol and too much hashish for several years. You know, not that it from day one that I took my first beer went on crazy, but you know, over the years it went into to too much drinking and too much smoking and too much darkness in my life, you know. And through all these years of heavy drinking and smoking and partying, not that it was all bad, there was many funny parties, and somewhere along the way, but it turned bad for me, you know. It wasn't good for me anymore, and it took some time to reach the point that I had to do something about it. It was my partner in life that said some things to me, you know. I reached bottom, and she was lecturing me like I was a little boy. It was like a teacher or a mother talking to, you know. I had no more lies. I couldn't accuse anybody else but myself. You know, I've been trying to accuse everybody else for my heavy drinking and living as I did, but you know, it was me taking the beer up. It was me smoking. So it ended up with me, with the help of my life partner, and I reached the point that I had to go into rehab, and I went into rehab.
That was here in Nuuk?
Here in Nuuk for 9 weeks for alcohol and hashish abuse. And these years of living hard and not being so good to myself gave me a lot of other stuff. You know, I saw some things that I could tell about.
Like what? Like what?
Like the dark sides of Greenland, if you could call it that. You know, the social aspect, the social problems.
And tell us about some of the social problems in Greenland.
Alcohol, of course. And this whole step from hunting culture, you know, fishing hunting culture to this industrial, you know, what do you call it? Industrialization or what? Of Greenland. You know, we went through this in, I don't know, 50 years. You know, from hunters to this. Working on land and taking educations and not living by the nature, you know, let the nature forces decide. But now you have to wake up and get to school and get to work. And so this process has been very short, I think, compared to other countries developing. You know, this development was Greenland went through this in a very short time, and that created people not getting educated, you know, groups of people not being educated and not getting an education, and that created social losers, if you can call it that, you know, social what do you call it, social
outcasts.
Yeah, you know. So, and you know, we got the suicide because people maybe not feeling worth anything because they don't have an education. You know, this whole switch has made, I don't know, you know, back in the days, the husband, the hunter was, you know, important. And they couldn't live without him. And now you have this educating people, and it was mostly ladies, and the man, you know, couldn't find his place somehow. I think, you know, where do I belong now? So the development of the country, the short period of time that the development from hunting till today has been going through has had costs on people, on having problem with alcohol and suicide, and alcohol bringing all sorts of other stuff, abuse, sex abuse and raping and all that stuff comes with the alcohol, and so it's a big bad cocktail that it brought. But then again, I think it's important where we are standing now in time that we accept these problems as they are and face them, and not trying to cover up and say that no, it's not like that. It's not the children are not starving in Greenland, and let's face them. And what country doesn't have problems? If it can make sense for some people and maybe get them to take a little shorter way to this point where I'm at in my life, thinking of all the alcohol and stuff like that. If I can make someone's road shorter from through all this darkness, it's all the work worth it. And otherwise, it's still worth it because it helped me. The Greenlandic language is pretty strong. I think it's very powerful in expressing yourself. You can bend the endings of a word and make it much more stronger or much more sad or much more angry, or it's a powerful language, and I'm so grateful for being able to speak it. I know I can become even better of speaking Greenlandic, but I'm so grateful for having it. So elders are of importance, I think. And they can help us with finding our identity, because they can tell about the good old days, if you can call it, but about Greenland from back in the days, because we still have people remembering when they were living off hunting. I know this 73-year-old guy who his first memory is the sound of water, and he opens his eyes and see all these women rowing in the umiak. His first memory, and wow, that's a story, and that's one little story, and that moves me, that we have people remembering stuff like that. And I need 24 more hours a day, because there are so much to do here in life, and so many stories to hear and to look for, and so.
And can you talk to us a little bit about a project you have in mind involving rappers from different parts of the Arctic?
Well, I went to the Arctic Winter Games in Yellowknife as a part of a cultural crew. I was a light technician on a dance theater show, a 15-minute show that we prepared here in Nuuk. And being over there, well, I brought my own CD to begin with, and I was thinking I want to spread this out in the Arctic if I can, knowing that I was going to meet all these people from the Arctic. I was thinking this is a good shot for me to just spread my word, and just, I don't know what I wanted with this, but it feels good knowing that my words are all the way around the Arctic somehow. It means something for me. I don't know if it means something for anybody else, but I like the feeling. We were living all these cultural acts from all the countries at the Winter Games. Were living together at this school, so we had great hours at evening with guitars and with the traditional drum and the fiddle and me beatboxing and I noticed some of the I can't remember if it was Nunavik or Nunavut, but some of the participants were, I could hear them down the hallway trying to rap a little and it was in their own language, but I don't know who these guys were, but and then why not make an Arctic hip hop event, and hopefully we can do something about it. I don't know if it should be here or in Canada or where. It could be nice to have it here in Nuuk if we can. But then again, it might take some years before I grab that idea and do something about it. Otherwise, if anybody out there hears this, feel free to work on it, and I'll be glad to be in on it.